Good morning, everybody. I'm Keegan. Welcome to back to the channel. It's another beautiful day, and it's time to cut up a Subaru. I know I've been talking about getting this wiper assembly out. Today, it's finally gonna go. We're definitely gonna size up doing the front part of the tube front end, whether we're gonna do it from the towers forward, kind of size up what material can be taken out. I'm gonna try to maintain a lot of these stock mounting points. If anything, I'll just kind of cut away the tabs and keep those. But we're gonna see about tying in from the back of the strut tower into the cage that'll be in the car, or whether we're gonna kind of keep them separate. I definitely don't want to kind of have a big crease for the car to fold into right here, so ideally they're tied in. I mean, this is not any specific race car, so we don't have any regulations to meet, but a tube cage will definitely help with a lot of the rigidity. And this point at the bottom of the windshield is the highest part for Z cars, so as long as everything in the front end gets lower than that, we should be good to go with that carbon fiber front clip. Hopefully we can cut away a lot of the cowl panel stuff and the firewall just down, while still maintaining a spot for hot and cold air to kind of blow into the vehicle. We are definitely gonna see, but either way, a lot of this material has got to go. And this is a pretty rigid part of the car, so I'm a little concerned cutting it away. I got some jack stands and a jack to kind of hold it, but ideally we can keep in line from here to here while getting rid of a lot of this big bulge. We will see. Alrighty, I apologize if you guys can hear anybody using any lawn equipment, but we've peeled the top of the bottom of the windshield to cowl panel cover, kind of like a tin can. So I split all the spot welds, kind of angled them up, hit them with the Sawzall real fast. This is the most efficient way, and then just went around to the bottom. We'll throw that over here. Also, we got the center dash part, couple bolts on both sides. Just kind of peel it off, and it's actually annoying to get out because it's the perfect middle section for the car. I don't know why they wouldn't just weld that in, but it's out. And now we're gonna start on this center cowl panel, and then we're slowly gonna chip away towards the outsides. More hammer and chisel later. Went through all the middle spot welds, and I mean, you can grind these off. You can I got the belt sander, you could also use that, but hammer and chisel is the easiest, especially after cutting down this firewall area. It's just more stuff out of the way. We're just gonna throw this gently, not into the skyline, but it's more stuff out of the way. So we're gonna work our way now. Probably gonna clean up these lines, kind of get it absolutely as far as I can towards the firewall here. And it's looking like we will be able to do a bar from kind of the drop down area there over that and into the strut tower, so that's probably going to be the direction we lean into when we do start the cage. But we're going to keep cutting away. We're probably going to work away this section. We're going to cut it straight down and then kind of do this huge chunk as one, and we'll try to replicate it over there on the other side. A lot of patience later, and we have lined up the end of the Z shell with the Subaru body. So it was kind of a pain, but we did end up splitting. I think there were 3 layers. So there's kind of part of it, there's more of it, but you can see on the other side how the body kind of just goes the entire distance from the firewall down to the front. But we've kind of moved it in about 1 inch, removed that thick overlap. It was rigidity, but we have a perfect spot to kind of put a plate here, put some tubing, and then also kind of run it at the corner that we use to kind of remove this material. And then we can also just, you know, tack, seam seal, so we can have a pipe going all the way across. We can put a hump in it, and then we can go back down. And it'll be mint. It is kind of a pain to separate all of this, but a lot of patience. I will probably have to seal this back up or take out just this whole piece, because this is overlapping in this area, so we will make a decision there. The beauty of having already done the passenger side is that you already know where to cut for the driver's side. So we could skip a lot of these corners because we just kind of went along the bottom, so it took out this corner completely. And we have the same kind of lineup for tubing to kind of cover both ends and line up on the end of the door perch. And we have the same distance from, I think I did this stud, not the circle. I don't know why. But she's off. I will hit it very hard in a bit. But I'll probably stop here today just because it's about to get dark and do a continuation, cutting away more of this, but I'll definitely be sure to include when we do the front tubing. But this video will pick up on another day. Good morning, everybody. Another beautiful day. It's been, I think, 2 days since we last cut off a bunch of material, and as much as I want to continue the front, we actually have to start with the main hoop and kind of build the cage forward and then shoot it forward. And I have just enough bars. I ordered more, but I guess they're stuck in mail. And I had to order base plates because no steel companies near me had any. So far today, we've sized up these 6-inch 1/8 plates. I have a little bit of an issue on space. It's a common problem with a lot of these Z cars, kind of with Miatas too. Just seat choice, and I've ordered them, but they're not here yet. Just some small jag seats. But we did have to cut the corner of this plate just because it was easier than kind of accommodating for the bend in this strut tower. If somebody really wants to disqualify me from an event, they can keep it, but we definitely need to add the rigidity. So we're gonna clean up these marks, clean it up so that way when we weld it's good and smooth. And we'll place these down and then get started on the main hoop. Technical difficulties with that big spool. I had to have the welder kind of rewired for a breaker issue, and when the guy opened it, he broke my spool of wire, so I had to go back to the small one it came with because the other one was just flooding everywhere. Never mind that. We have this square welded in. I'm pretty happy with the top after the wires stopped breaking up. This is obviously where it was kind of breaking up every inch or so, but I know the heat was turned up, I know the metal was together, so I'm not too worried about it. We're gonna go ahead and knock out the other side and then start sizing up a main hoop. Another day in paradise, and there's a slight issue in the length of the tubing I have to work with. I got the biggest stuff I could get without having to pay like commercial shipping, which was like an extra $300. So we got our tubing bender set up on our nice little spare tires, and we're gonna have to put 245s in it to kind of make up for the angle of the car going like that, and hopefully that gives us just enough room to work with leftover pipe to land on both these plates kind of centered. So we got 18 on this side. If you think about it as like a flat axis, so all the angle here is going to equal half a circle, 180. We're down 18 on this side, and if we put over here it's about 27. So right now the bend is 135, meaning that's a perfect 45. And there is a bit of spring back when you're doing tubing work. I think it's about like 3 degrees to expect. I think that changes based on more angle you add. So we're gonna move up a little bit more and then go for another 45 and kind of finish it over there and then size up the hoop in the car. This should be the hardest bar to kind of incorporate because the rest of it we can base off of it, but this is the most bends we should have to work with. All right, one main hoop made and a slight miscalculation. I was like 20 inches off being able to land in the center of these plates, but it's okay because we can use this corner for seats. There was only one small piece of like 22 gauge steel. It was very thin, so we can, you know, put at least one corner of the seat on there. But we did weld another plate. That one came out much better, and our hoop does cover this quite well. I think I am gonna full send it on the plates, and when I do the other bars I will just cut out a section up here because we may do something creative, carbon fiber, to have like a sunroof, kind of, maybe Zeus fasteners, we'll see. But we're gonna get that installed, and as long as I have the main hoop installed, then that means the next step would be trimming up some of these quarter panels at the bottom of the pillar to kind of tie it in as much as possible down here, along here, without hopefully interrupting the glass or anything. But the hardest part is starting the main hoop and then kind of doing the bars. Those plates are easy, and then we can finally finish cutting up the front end. And that's the hardest part. So, sun is going down, but we have made some progress. You can barely see it in the corners right here, so pretty happy with how it fitted up. But the main hoop is probably the hardest part to start. And it's going all the way around. Sent those plates. Did not send the bottom fully yet, so we can still test these bars right here. I'm probably gonna go over, down, maybe have a bend and then go straight down. But this is a little bit of an overall, kind of for me to reference as well. Apologize if that fan is loud, but pretty intense day. Had to do some yard work too, so we will be back to finish the cage another day, or I'm gonna size up these bars without having to worry about being on camera. You know, just good old documentation. But thanks for tuning in. Take it easy.